It's time for some more Backyard Baseball Online League action. My name's Wooper, and this is my Week 4 matchup, an interdivisional matchup against Coach Brad, who just had a crazy game against fellow Little League coach Lillian, where the result was 12-11. So I know he's got a capable offense. That's what I'm looking out for in this game. Apart from some of his big bats, the biggest of which are Julie Dunkel and Rachel LaBuena with 198 power respectively, he also has Earl Abbott, a super fast base runner, who's going to be leading off for him. And I think before the game starts, you will see me clicking back and forth between my roster and their roster in the upper right-hand corner, because I want to see if he's put Earl in the first position. If he does, I'm going to stack the infield, and that's a strategy you'll see me use during the course of the game. Right now, Earl is still on third base for him. He's the guy with the fat head and the dark hair. So I think I wait around a while here on the batting order screen before going back over to their roster to see whether it's been updated. And it hasn't. So as far as I understand it, it will update, like the changes that he's made on his view will update for me as soon as he hits the go forward arrow there in the bottom right hand corner. So I missed it just now when I clicked over there for the third time. But it looks like I am stacking the infield if I'm putting Claudia in there. Yeah. And I have Donald at catcher with a 90 arm as well. So if Earl bunts, I can run forward, grab it, throw it to Jorge. There are the changes. There it is. Earl's his pitcher and also his first batter. Then you got those two big bats, Julie and Rachel, right after him. So I guess Brad's strategy is just get Earl on base and then hit him home. He has a couple other decent batters. Isabel Morelli, the other blonde girl on his team, and Kay O'Toole, who is, I don't know, somebody's clone. She's a 3 height, so she's a pro clone. I don't know who off the top of my head. I suppose I could look it up, but I think the game's about to get started. I did take quite a while on this screen here, but it's already been a couple minutes at this point, so the game will begin shortly. Right? Yeah, so this is, while we're waiting, got a little background information, I suppose. This is an interdivisional game, or an interleague game, whatever you want to call it. So that's going to happen weeks 4, 8, and 12 this season. So I'm in the backyard league, where there are 12 coaches, and Brad is in the front yard league, where there are 12 coaches. Typically, I'll play against another backyard coach, but for week 4, for everybody, they play against someone from the opposite division. All right, sorry for taking a while there. The game is underway. He's got Earl Abbott on the mound. Decent chunk of stamina on Earl, and 3 good pitches as well. Heat, slow ball, left hook. So very versatile. The problem is the longer you pitch with him, the slower he gets on offense. So I'm going to try to, as usual, rack up his pitch count. And it's gone. There's literally no better start to a baseball game than that. I did not consciously swing early to try to pull the ball to the left. It just worked out, to be honest. I suppose my timing was good. Hopefully that, I can keep it up for the rest of the game. Because going into this game, my thought was he's going to score a lot of runs. If he can put up 11, and as he did in week 3, I'm going to need to keep pace offensively. Claudia comes up. We're just going to let that go. Easy, clearly a strike, but we want to jack up Earl's pitch count. Brad does seem to be the type of player who positions his pitches very carefully. Over the course of the game, he starts to get a little quicker with it. Unfortunately, Kimmy too slow to get that grab, and I don't know who Brad has in the outfield, in center field, because he's got two blondes. He's got Rachel LaBuena. I'm guessing that he's got Isabel. No, that throw was pretty weak, so he must have Rachel in center field, which is probably not the move, to be honest. So as a result, that ball flies over Kimmy's head. She's too short, and Rachel's throw is too slow. And we get a double. Now we're going to try to hit her home with Cheryl. That was pure home run fuel, and I was too slow to switch over to the correct stance to hit it. Look at this.
I did good.
So that right there, what you just saw, perhaps it looked normal on Brad's end. I know he was streaming the game as we were playing. But when I saw that, I was like, oh no, this game's going to be a lag fest. Thankfully, that was the worst of it right there. We got it out of the way in the top of the first inning. It's pretty normal from here on out. Unfortunately, Cheryl does ground out there, so perhaps out of frustration, I swing a little early with Jorge. Jorge's a 4 height. His strike zone looks different. His swing is awkward. He's a little bit tough to hit with. We do get a single there, though. Unfortunately, Earl just bobbles the ball. So that means we've got 2 kids on base for Hillary to try to hit in. Now this game right here is my last week playing with both Jorge and Hillary. I've traded them both off. In exchange, I'm going to be getting Gwen Sears and Alicia Blakely. They are the the Alex Gonzalez clone and the Mo Vaughn clone, respectively. So I'll still have my first baseman with Mo Vaughn. Still have a bit of fielding with Alex Agon. But we'll get into that next week. For now, we're going to see if Hillary can get some ribbies. She does hit a nice long ball, but that should be an easy catch for Julie. Unfortunately, she's mispositioned.
Way to go, kid.
So here, his shortstop has quite a strong arm, and Claudia gets caught in a pickle. Claudia, a 7 speed, but she does not have... Yeah, there we just used the old CPU trick. Claudia, a 7 speed, but she doesn't have a lot of stamina. So when she gets caught in a pickle, it gets drained fast. She'll be on low fuel for the next couple innings as a result. But we do get the second run. Going to see what Artie can do for us here. Just going to let that go. Bump up Earl's pitch count. With that, we will hit. A fastball, we take that. Nice catch from Brad. Jorge not fast enough to take advantage of that. If he were a 9 speed, like Julie Dunkel, who's on Brad's team. If Jorge were a 9 speed, as soon as I saw that drop from Earl, I would be sprinting to third. But we can't get away with that. So here's Fernando. I've been struggling to hit with Fernando all season so far. He's been doing great on the mound, so that's okay. Okay, we're up in the count. That was a real nice pitch. Unfortunately, we fouled it off. Fernando does have pretty low contact rating. Thankfully, that was a ball. It was a little bit of a borderline. Nice hit here. And unfortunately, yeah, whoever he's got in center field is just not ideal for that position, honestly. So here from Kimmy, the throw should have been to third, I think. There was no way that she was going to catch Hillary. But honestly, Fernando probably could have gotten to third, even if she had made the correct throw. So this is quite a cushion we've built up for ourselves here. And this time I do get the switch. I do switch my stance over to open quickly enough to hit that into left field. Julie, despite her good arm, is not able to stop Fernando from scoring. So Chucky, the last batter in my lineup. We've made it all the way to the end. And I think, is there still just one out? Or are there two outs? I think there might be two outs. This is his timeout. And I consider here, so my infield is stacked right now, as I discussed before. Infield is stacked, and I consider changing it up because of Claudia's low stamina, and I guess I do there. I think this is fine. I guess I'm talking to my past self. I think this looks fine. Just hit the arrow. Here is Brad's backup pitcher, Esmeralda. She does not have a wide pitch arsenal. Rather, she does not have... Oh, nice. Look at that. Oof. All right, as soon as I see that bonk, I know that the catcher is probably going to run for the ball, and that's just a free run. That's some bad luck right there. I forget what I was talking about before I interrupted myself. Oh yeah, Esmeralda. She has a decent pitch spread, but her stamina is pretty low. So, I mean, same as always. I feel like I should stop repeating myself. Yikes. What an awful hit. I feel like I should stop repeating myself where my strategy to wear out the opposing pitcher is concerned. That just seems to be a given in most games. Look at that scoreboard. That's crazy. So I do have my infield stacked for Earl, since he's so fast. But he did just pitch a pretty long inning. So as we're going to see shortly here, his stamina is drained. I needn't have stacked the infield at all. Look at this. Look how slow he is. That's an 8 speed. An 8 speed with, half stamina or less. So now we got the two massive threats here. And as soon as I get Earl out, I undo the changes that I've made. The infield is stacked right now. Now I need to stack the outfield because Julie's up. And I figure, I could walk her, but I don't see the point. She's so fast. If Brad were to get a decent hit, she would just come home anyway. So I'm going to pitch to her. And given the lead that I have, I'm probably just going to pitch to Rachel as well. She's a prime candidate for a walk, but whatever. We'll pitch to her. I think I might swap Cheryl. Yeah. Because Claudia's stamina is so depleted, I want Cheryl to be in center field. Pitch to the corners. Benefit of pitching to the corners, it might be in the zone, and they will have lower odds for a real nice hit. And if it's not in the zone, then they might swing at it. So Brad lays off that one. He sees now already that I'm the sort of pitcher who does not really put stuff in the zone. That time it was in, but that could have easily been a ball. It just depends on where the pitcher ends up locating it. Rachel LeBlano La Buena, excuse me, with her 98 power. Up to bat. Same strat. Keep it in the corners. Keep it out of the zone. And I'm not sure at what point in the at-bat. Oh, it's here. Okay. So I switched Claudia to right field. Unfortunately, well, I mean, it's great that she still had enough juice to get there and get the grab. If I had kept her in center field, I think Cheryl would have had an easier time getting over to it. But, you know, whatever. It worked out. Top of the second inning. Let's tack on some more.
Nice play, right?
Claudia still has enough speed that even if Julie had caught that at shortstop, she probably would have made it to first. I'm going to try to hit her home now with Cheryl. But having very mixed results using power with Cheryl. And it feels bad with, you know, using your first round pick with 100 power to hit line drives. But honestly, I think that might have to be the strat going forward. Because when Cheryl hits for power, the results are quite mixed. Unfortunate there that Julie bonked into Kimmy. Because Kimmy is a double play machine, as you will see throughout the course of the game. She would have had that throw easy. And part of the reason that Kimmy throws hard in double play situations is because of her aggression stat. I just found that out recently. Might have wanted to swing at that, actually. There are a ton of things about this game that I still do not know. That was a real nice pitch as well. Maybe going over to closed would have increased my odds of getting a juicy hit, but... Would love for Jorge to put on a great performance here, as this is my last game with him this season. We eat those for breakfast. Unfortunate bonk. My last game with Hillary as well. And I mean, we're in prime position. I don't think I want to switch to power here. Oh, okay. Well. Yeah, line drive please. Good. Sad to have fouled that one off. Trying to give Cheryl a little bit of a lead here. What a hit. Look at that throw from Kimmy. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Hillary, you stink. Great arm, though. You know, great defensive asset when you're not bobbling grounders at third base. Interesting choice from Brad to put Kimmy fourth in the lineup. I assume that he, you know, edits that when he's playing away games, when you can see the little orange background behind Kimmy's because her stats are buffed. Nice from Donald. Her stats are buffed here at her home field, Ekman Acres. You know, she probably bats, I don't know, like 7th or 8th or something. Maybe 7th when Brad plays away games. Here's Isabel Morelli. She's got an 86 power stat. Pretty slow, though. Not too scared of what Isabel offers. She has home run power. Ekman, I think, has the deepest fences of any park in the game. except for maybe like Sandy Flats right field. And I guess Cement Gardens left field. You know, there are exceptions. I guess I'll say it's the park with the deepest fences of parks that actually have two continuous fences. Sheila Basanti is a speed demon. Thankfully, that grounder is not too far out of Fernando's reach. And so far, we're pitching a shutout. Gonna try to keep it going. So we've gone through the order 1.5 times at this point. I'm gonna make it my goal to get through. Oh, swung early. Terrible. That was such a nice like line drive feed, and I goofed up there. But I mean, that's what happens when you play against a pitcher, two pitchers in fact. Both Earl and Esmeralda both have pretty good heats. So my cognizance of that fact is will occasionally cause me to swing early, anticipating those heats. This looks like a ball to me. Okay, good, it is. But sometimes I have trouble distinguishing those hooks and slow balls that are kind of down the middle and low. Sometimes I don't know whether a sliver of the ball is going to go into the strike zone. And that was just terrible. Don't know why I swung at that. That's okay, though. Sometimes players will... Ooh.
Good job.
I probably should have sprinted there with Donald. That is a mistake on my part.
Go, kid.
Seeing that Ricky did not run for the ball, and he wouldn't because of his low aggression, knowing that I should have been sprinting because Donald has high stamina. So that's just a poor play on my part. Got K O'Toole here. To be honest, K should not be batting 7th. That's something that Brad might want to fix. In case he, listens to this. I'm not gonna post it publicly, I don't think. Well, maybe I'll post it in the media channel, but probably not in the Little League channel. It kind of makes sense to me, and in fact, I was kind of predicting that Brad would chase that right hook because the second pitch of that at-bat, I believe it was the second pitch, was a right hook that had a wonky curve to it and stayed in the zone. I figured he would chase another right hook. Here you see me throwing down the middle. That's just because I don't want to waste pitches on Esmeralda. She has a terrible bat, terrible speed. I just want her to, hit it. I want her to hit the first pitch she sees so Fernando's juice does not drain unnecessarily. Kind of a similar situation for Ricky. But I do throw to the corner against Ricky. I've seen him hit some liners in his time. I'm scooting the infield in on the low pitches that are grounders. He just takes that. I don't blame anybody for taking that. 4 height players, 5 height players with those big strike zones. Sometimes it's hard to tell when a pitch is low and inside, as opposed to low and outside. Thought about swinging at that. I figured let's drain your stamina some more. But maybe I should have, honestly.
Nice play.
So he's got K at catcher.
Way to
I don't
go.
exactly love that decision overall, but it does work out in situations like that. You know, if his catcher there had been a little slower, like a 4-speed, then that could have been trouble. I might have been able to get there with Chucky. As it is, we are back up with Wally. Nice pitch there from Brad. Yeah. So I knew that was a strike. Now, commentating. I did not in the game. Looking at it now, I can, it made total sense to me that it was a strike. But I should have swung at that heater. Okay. Good. Good discipline. Maybe swung a little early there, or maybe just an unlucky foul. But that was a pitch I would have loved to smack into left field. Nice hit.
What?
And that's Sheila Basanti in right field. She does not have the greatest arm. In fact, all 3 of Brad's arms in the outfield now are quite weak. It's looking like Earl in left, Rachel in center, Sheila in right. And while I was taking glancing away from my monitor, I don't know who called the timeout or why. I think I'm still batting, so Brad must have called it, and I'm going to take this opportunity to stack the infield because I know he's going to have Earl up at the bottom of the 4th. So we should see Cheryl come in here. There she is. Yes, bring Cheryl into the infield. Wooper, what are you doing? Yeah. I see there that Earl's going to be next. Bring Cheryl in. What the hell's going on, man? Okay, yes, thank you. Thank you. I should bring Artie or Claudia in as well. That swap should happen. Okay, we're good. So I was accounting for who his next batter was going to be and making that defensive change on his timeout. That's something that you can get in the habit of if you are not already. Man. Surprised at myself for letting that go. That's fine, though. We'll let that go. I mean, we know that he likes to throw heat, so we're going to sit and wait for another heater if we can. Yes. I think that swing was a tiny bit late. Happy to foul that off. Waiting for a better pitch. That may have been outside the zone. We run a little bit with Wally there to try to bait Earl into throwing to third, so that Claudia could get there safely. Maybe not necessary, but I am looking for a 3-run home run here from Cheryl. Let's, you're my first round pick. Let's get it going here. Okay, good take. Up in the count. Waiting for a heater. We're not going to get it. And, that's an infield fly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, these pop-ups from Cheryl and these, like, weird flubby grounders. Not a fan. Let that go. Yeah, it's fine. Jorge doing great in his last game as a Pirate, 2 for 2. Let's try to get a ribby here. We can send Wally home. He's fast. Oof. unfortunate foul off. I think that was in the zone for a 4 height. That's definitely wide. Okay, we're fighting back. Let's go, Jorge. What a hit. Julie mispositioned, but Brad brings her back over in time. Well played from Brad. When he brought Earl back onto the mound, as part of that change, he put Julie in left field, and that worked out swimmingly for him. This is so embarrassing. I let Earl with his drained stamina get on base. I should have just clicked a base and I would have auto-fielded it, but for some reason I tried to click the mound, thinking that was a base and that would do it. So that is just a criminal misplay on my part. And a little bit of a spoiler alert here, that will come back to bite me. Stacking the outfield again. Now that Julie's up to bat. She struck out the first time. We're going to pitch to her. See if she strikes out again. Brad with Julie up, he seems to be pretty antsy. He's in the previous at-bat and at this one, he's swinging at some junk. So we're going to try to abuse that. That's outside the zone for sure. She does get her bat on it. Jorge too slow to make the play. And I decide to use the fireball now. Julie, a massive threat. Get her out of there. So the fireball does drain a considerable amount of my stamina. So my pitches are going to be less accurate unless I choose to use the more juice right away. Similar antsiness here from Brad. You can see that my right hook is, the range for it is pretty wide. So I can't be as precise with it as I would be at full stamina. I thought for sure that was a strike. I remember in game previously when I was playing rather than recording, I was so shocked when... Look at this pitch. Yeah, that's sometimes that's what happens when you opt not to use your more juice. Well hit by Brad. Of course, we can afford to give up 2 runs, but the shutout dream is dead. And the perfect game dream also died when I made that terrible misplay and allowed Earl to get on base. That's okay. That's what I meant by it coming back to bite me when I let Earl on, because now it's a 2-run homer instead of 1. Even at half stamina, my left hooks are super trusty with Fernando, and this is just a very lucky play for me. She hits it straight to Jorge. Isabel with a pretty good bat as well. I don't know what my thought process was putting my cursor like inside the zone on that right hook. That was risky. Thankfully we get like a pinpoint pitch there. To make up for it, and now we are up in the count. I'm going to throw a left hook. I should adjust it. Yeah, there's a little adjustment there. Make it more likely to be outside the zone. So here, I decide to risk it, and we do throw to Fernando. That's great. Sometimes when your pitcher is covering first, and your first baseman tries to throw to them, the throw is inaccurate. Something about the I don't know, just the mechanics of the game makes those throws inaccurate in general. Wow. Great hit, Hillary.
Oh, yay, I guess.
But that previous play where I tried to click away from Jorge so that Jorge would go back to his base and Wally would field the ground ball, it did not. Didn't. Nice hit. Look at this. Bam. Look at that throw. Oh. Beautiful relay. So this configuration that Brad has with his defense, this is much better than what we saw earlier in the game. Like that relay from Julie to Kay to Ricky. Great defense. Earl still looking for his first strikeout. And there it is. I was caught off guard by that strike call. My eye is not perfect. So Brad in, the runs, he's got the goose egg off the board. He's in his run column has a non-zero digit in it, which is good. A shutout would be, I would love a shutout, but it's also, nice to have a more competitive game, I think, for both coaches. This happens sometimes when you pitch mostly to the corners. Sometimes the pitches just stray outside the zone a couple times in a row. That's fine. It's fine by me. I just keep pitching to the corners. Works out for us there. Fernando with his 6th strikeout. Feeling good. Okay, this is a pretty big bat. Once again for the 7-hole in Brad's lineup. So we're gonna have to be careful or not. It does roll foul before I can grab it though, so Kay has a second chance at life. Let's see if she can start a rally here for Brad. That's a fantastic pitch right there. Just toot my own horn a little bit. Yeah, and we have more juice, so I'm just going to go for another fireball. Why not? Got to pump those strikeout numbers up. I'm completely fine with throwing right in the middle of the zone to Esmeralda. She poses no offensive threat whatsoever. Look at her go. One last chance to put some more runs on the board. I'm runless after that crazy first inning. Of course, I don't really feel bad about that, since we're in a great position. But look at that throw, man.
Nice play, right?
Julia, a great choice for the outfield. If I were Brad, I would put Isabel at catcher. I'm sorry, Isabel probably is at catcher. Rachel in center field. I guess you can just pray that the ball doesn't get hit to her, but she is a liability out there for sure. Yeah, that's a poor eye on my part. I don't imagine. It's unfortunate that when you strike out, the strike zone disappears and you don't see the shadow of the ball. You don't know how far in the zone it was, but I imagine that one was, that had a decent chunk in the zone. That was just, you know, like more than that probably. All right, Wally, let's go. I think that was probably in the zone. Don't regret swinging at that. We're gonna go for this too. Okay. No. Look at that play. Earlier when I said Kimmy was a double play monster, that's what I'm talking about right there. I didn't think I needed to sprint with Wally at all, but apparently I did. Yeah, it looks like Brad has Isabel, not at catcher, but at third base. And he has Esmeralda. Okay, at catcher, that makes sense. Fantastic. Yeah, Ricky is definitely a poverty third baseman. You know where he's kind of good is bouncy fields, like the two concrete fields or asphalt, whatever they are. Well, cement. It's literally called cement gardens. So cement gardens in Tin Can Alley. Ricky can sometimes hit grounders that, because he's so tall, sometimes the grounders he hits bounce like straight down and way up in the air, and that gives him time to sprint to first base. So, to be honest, if you're picking Ricky, it should be a consideration. This field should be a consideration. Earl's still super slow. Okay. And we just need one last out. Once again, I'm going to take a timeout. Put some of my better fielders in the outfield since I am up against Julie Dunkel. She's struck out twice today, but this could be the at-bat where she, makes some good contact. So get her to chase that. Yeah, I mean, Brad really wants this homer. That's clearly outside the zone, though. Yeah, okay. I think I go for a higher pitch here. Yeah, something that's nearly guaranteed to be out. Want to try to mix it up on him and force him to swing at something yucky, but he does not bite. Here's the right hook. I think that's... Ooh. It looked to me like that could have been in the zone. I thought... I just decided to throw it. Why not? Thought it might have... he might have chased it, hoping to get on base with it and get a power up. And yeah, that's way outside. All right, good game. 6-2. Honestly, the defense from Brad improved quite a bit after that first inning. As I mentioned earlier, that Julie left field K shortstop configuration worked wonders for him at a couple points during this game. Kimmy did great at second base. So taking the screen caps now for the stats. You'll see there if you pause it. Well, you would have needed to pause it earlier, I guess. The stats do not update for the final play of the game. So when I reported on Discord, I had to say one extra pitch, one extra strike, one extra K for Fernando, and Julie did strike out a third time. And that's universal. I'm pretty sure the game never records the absolute last play of the game for the statistics. You have to do that manually when you report, if you're so inclined. All right. That's it from me. We are 4-0, feeling good. Next week, I think I play against Tusk Healer. Thanks for watching. See you next time.